Hi everyone, I'm Natasha, and today I'm showing you how to harvest basil so that you have abundant basil all season long. So here we have a basil plant that could use some harvesting. So there are two ways you can harvest your basil. It is perfectly okay to just take one or two leaves or a handful of leaves at a time. If you do that, I like to take the leaves from the bottom and make sure that you pinch the entire leaf off cleanly and pinch off that stem so that you're not leaving a little nub hanging off the plant. So you can absolutely harvest just however much you want for tonight's supper, and that's okay. You're not going to hurt your yields doing that this way like you might with some plants. Now, once your plant gets to about 6 to 8 inches tall, don't stress about bringing out the tape measure, right? If your plant is really thick and bushy like mine is, then you're probably good to go without measuring it, right? But once it gets about 6 to 8 inches tall, if you want a really large harvest, you want to trim back and prune your plant. Now you want to cut away about 1/3 off the top of the plant. So don't cut away too much, about 1/3 of the plant, and it's important that you trim it correctly. You'll see that the leaves come into the stem at what's called these little nodes, and you want to trim right at the top so that your plant is cut off at one of those nodes and doesn't have a little stem sticking up. I'll show you what I mean. This plant is so thick, it's hard for me to actually show you these nodes in here. But when you get down in, you'll notice that's just some diatomaceous earth on my plant here, no weird fungus, that you have where the leaves come off of the stem. Those are called the nodes. So do not cut your plant here and leave that little stalk sticking up. Instead, let's see what's about 1/3 of my plant. I'll go ahead and cut there. You want to cut right on top of one of these little branches and make sure you make a nice clean cut and don't splinter or shatter the plant. So there you'll have that little stem coming down, and it'll have a nice flat short top here. I actually have several stems here. Here's another bunch. Again, that's just some diatomaceous earth I have on there. And my final one. Again, I'm going to find that leaf node and trim off right above it so that there's a nice flat top on my basil without a stem sticking up. Now, this plant was already very hardy and producing lots. After this harvest, I bet you it will produce even more. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to harvest your basil for an abundant harvest all season long. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and check down below for an accompanying blog post on more information about harvesting and preserving your basil harvest.